everyone and welcome. I am AK, a senior systems engineer in Yokogawa, Australia, and I'm truly delighted to be the moderator today, where we have come together to share the experiences, successes, and remarkable resiliences of our fellow female engineers here in Yokogawa, Australia. For as long as engineering has existed, it shaped the world, from bridges to buildings, from rockets to code. And for just as long, women had to fight for a chance to be at that table, which they succeeded and did it in any way. Take Elisa Zamifirescu, for example, who in 1912 was one of the first officially recognized female engineers, who earlier was rejected from her Romanian college just because she was a female. Or Margaret Hamilton, for another example, who has helped on NASA's Apollo moon mission to land and guide their rocket ships, but we hardly hear her name. Today, the legacy of those same women continue in our fellow female engineers. I have this wonderful opportunity to sit with such female engineers and hear their stories. And today, the legacy lives on in the talented women engineers that around us, including the ones I have the honor of sitting with today. We want to celebrate what they have done. We want to hear their success stories. And we want to inspire the next generation of female engineers. We want to show that engineering is not mysterious and it offers a great chance, and encourage more young women to pursue a career in engineering where they really do make a difference. Let's honor the past, celebrate the present, and spark inspiration for the future. Please join me in welcoming our wonderful panelists, Deepshika, Dhanya, Swarada, Risham, and Julia. Let's begin with a quick intro, ladies. Can you please say your name, your position you're working in, and how long you have been in engineering? Let's start with Deepshika.
Thank you, AK. Thank you for having me today. I'm Deepshika. I'm an electrical engineer and I'm with Yokogawa for the last 14 years, working as a proposals engineer at the moment. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Tanya. I'm a lead engineer and I've been working in this industry for more than 17 years.
Hi, this is Swarada Pandya. I'm in this field of engineering since last 12 years and I am a safety and control systems engineer in Yokogawa since last 2 years, and I'm really proud to be in this organization. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Risham Ahmed and I'm the National Projects Manager, and I've been in the industry for about more than 15 years, and I've been with Yokogawa for about 6-7 years. Currently working as a National Projects Manager.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm a graduate engineer for process control networks, and I've been with Yokogawa for just under 6 months.
Thank you, Julia. Now let's start at the beginning. I would like to know, what was the eureka moment for you guys where you went, aha, I want to do engineering? Let's start with Dhanya.
It's kind of funny. When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of horror movies, and I used to watch a lot of them, especially movies with mummies, aliens, and, pyramids. And after watching all these movies, I got so obsessed with pyramids. I even used to think these pyramids were made by aliens, not by humans. And there was a moment that changed everything. That was, when I was in middle school, I happened to watch a documentary. It was about, pyramids and how these pyramids were made, by using these ramps, pulleys, and these mechanical structures in ancient form, and how these people they made use of basic physics to move these massive objects to do the construction. And I can say this was the moment I realized the power of engineering, and this curiosity, it was always stuck with me. And when I grew up, I was always curious to know how these machines how they work together and how they are automated to do complicated tasks. And I decided to become an engineer, and I'm so happy about what I'm now and what I do today.
I'm certain that Egyptian goddess of wisdom, Seshat, is definitely proud of you. How about you, Risham?
I would say that for me, when I was young, it wasn't more about engineering. It was more about I was interested in how the things would work. I was checking just calculators we used to have when we were young, and I was then kind of interested in maths and physics. And that journey became when I was very young as well. So in our culture, we have only certain level of professions that we have to choose. So I started getting interested more into maths and physics. And then there were many engineers in my family as well. They started telling me about engineering. Then I would say, okay, yes, let's see. Because I was always curious about things and what is the solution. And so that then made me come into the engineering field. And I'm so happy to be part of an industry currently because of how it's evolving. We are evolving as a human species as well. So I feel very much curious about how like all the technologies and AI, now we're talking about all these things. So that is very, very, I would say, very interesting for me.
Yeah, that's such a lovely story, especially dismantling part. I love that. Engineering story starts like that. That brings me to my next question to Julia. I would like to know what's been the biggest difference between studying engineering and working in the field?
So there's two big differences that I've noticed. At study or at university, you're mostly presented with a clearly defined problem that already has a solution. And you've got one stakeholder, which in most cases is just the unit coordinator or the lecturer. While at work, you're presented with open-ended problems that no one has got an answer to, and you have got multiple stakeholders or people that you're working with or that you're reporting to. And the other one is communication. So at university, a lot of assignments and a lot of work is individual or in small groups, whereas at work, you're communicating with people from different departments across different levels of the organization. And university doesn't teach cross-cultural communication, so that's another one where you're communicating with people from different cultures, high context and low context cultures, which at university we don't really encounter. So to the same degree as we do in the workplace.
Wow, that's such an insightful answer for me. Nothing said like welcome to the real world, quite like having a 1 hour long meeting to decide fonts of the graphics. But such is life. Let's dive into something real though here. I would like to know the subtle and not so subtle gender assumptions that exist in our field and you guys might have faced at some point in your career. I would like to start with Julia again, being a fresh graduate engineer. Have you had those moments and how did you handle those?
So there seems to be a stereotype or an assumption that women are in non-technical roles. Well, not at Yokogawa, but outside when I've been approached and someone has asked me what my role is, and I explained where I was working, what I was doing, they assumed that I was on a non-technical role. So they asked questions like, oh, you're working in HR, you're working in marketing, and I was like, no, I don't. And then it took time to explain to them, hopefully clearing up some of the stereotypes. And I think in the workplace, which sometimes can be challenging, especially as a new graduate, but I think the best way to approach it is just demonstrating my technical skills with confidence while I'm also still learning, which can be a bit of a challenge to navigate at times.
Risham, as someone in a leadership role, how do you handle these situations and how do you actively advocate to create visibility for other female engineers?
Yeah. So further to add up what Julia has said, I still find that is a very individualistic approach where women have to all everyday scenarios they have to deal with all these types of, sometimes it's very unconscious biasness as well, or these type of assumptions as well. But I would like to further add up to the organization level that I would still find that's very, very effective if the organization start developing certain supportive environment for the individuals, and that environment in the culture of a company or organization is changed, and it could be done through many ways, and I found that's very, very effective, and that's the change which I can see it's coming in all the organizations which are trying to have a very welcoming and supportive environment for the females, all with any individuals with any differences. So I found that it's a very effective, and that talent, you are basically able to retain that talent. You're able to retain more females by providing them very supportive environment, by listening to their problems, for understanding the differences. And further, I would add someone who is, if I can advocate, for example, if I have a team of engineers and they're females, they are young moms. So what a supportive environment that I can provide to them is, what I do is like listen to them, and basically instead of coming up with any assumption about anybody's issues, I listen to them, understand their differences, and then try to provide them a very healthy and respectful place to work where they can further work more effectively in a
Thank you for that. So Dhanya, you have also stepped into a leadership role. How has your view on engineering or your role in it has evolved over time?
Earlier part of my career, my main focus was on completing a particular task which is assigned to me, and when I moved to lead role, my perception towards engineering it started changing, and I started thinking beyond just completing the task, and I can say my vision it became more long term. Like I started thinking how I can contribute to the company's overall success, and how I can align with company's core values, and how I can keep myself updated with latest technologies. And as we all know, Yokogawa provides a lot of training programs and leadership programs, which helps individuals to both skill development as well as personal development. And last year I got an opportunity to attend this emerging leadership program, and which was quite beneficial for me. And now I realize engineering is not just about problem solving. It's also about mentoring, and it's also about supporting one another, and creating a productive and positive environment for the co-workers.
Thank you, Dhanya. That's very well said. And thank you for bringing our attention on long-term goals and impacts. Having said that, I would like to know from Swarada, what kind of impact do you hope your work in engineering would have?
Thanks, AK, for giving me this platform to share my work and knowledge in engineering. Being an instrumentation and control engineer, I would like to contribute to the systems which are not only efficient but also safe, smart, and more sustainable. Beyond technical impact, I would like to inspire more and more young women engineers to pursue their careers in the field of engineering. And I would like to tell them that create a work environment, and by breaking the barriers, and also feel more confident, pursue more and more in the engineering field.
You mentioned about mentoring. I would like to know what's something you learned through mentoring which really surprised you?
To my surprise, while sharing my knowledge and even giving the share and learn sessions, I also learned that mentoring is not only a one-way process, but it's a two-way process. So while sharing your experiences, you also know the value of asking questions. So, and also giving few feedbacks and also small gestures can make a bigger impact on the organization and also the people whom I'm mentoring. So I think it's a two-way process, and I think there the value of asking questions instead of only sharing your experiences and knowledge.
Thanks, Swarada. Julia, I would like to pick your brain a little bit more on the same topic. I would like to ask you, what change are you hoping to help drive through your work?
Thank you for that question, AK. So through my work in engineering, I'm hoping to be able to encourage young girls and women to choose a career in technology and engineering and STEM and science related, and encourage them and empower them that they can do what they want to do and they can be who they want to be and wherever they see themselves going, that there are no barriers in their way.
Thanks so much, Julia. Well, after having discussed about long-term goals and impacts and mentoring, we come to one of the more rewarding aspects of our job, success. So I'll come back to you, Swarada. I would like to hear your thoughts on how your definition of success has evolved over time.
So for me, initially, it was like success is only, achieving a degree or getting a job or climbing the career ladder. But that's not everything. Success is like you need to be more confident in what you are already pursued. Be proud about what you're doing in work, and so success is not just achieving your careers, but also be confident in what you do. That's what I define success as. And I think success is a continuous process. It also involves learning, and it comes with experience.
Well, I must say, the definition of success have become more sophisticated over time. Back in the days, success for me was passing thermodynamics. Having said that, success also brings more inspiration for the future generation. So, to you, Deepshika, I would like to know, who is the successful engineer who has given you more inspiration to work in this field?
Thank you, AK. Have you heard of Sudha Murthy? She is an Indian engineer, author, and philanthropist. She did her engineering in 1960s when female in engineering was unheard of in Indian society. So she was the first female student in her university. There was not even a female restroom in the university. So imagine the challenges she had to face. And from there, she have completed her engineering. Not only completed her engineering, she has done her master's in computer science later on. She was the co-founder of Infosys, which is a very respected and renowned IT companies in India. And what inspires me more, after retiring in her 70s, she started writing children's storybooks to teach them values and compassion and culture. So her life is dedicated to giving back to the society. So I think she is a role model for female engineers. Thank you.
Thanks, Deepshika, for introducing us to such an amazing fellow female engineer. As you mentioned that she had a lot of challenges in her early days, I would like to know from you, what one thing companies could do better to support fellow female engineers?
We have come along a long way where we were 20 years back, and I'm very grateful to be in Yokogawa because we are in such a very comfortable and supportive work environment here. What I will say the companies can do, they can create a very supportive and emotionally aware work culture to understand the unique challenges a female engineer may face behind the scenes. She may be struggling with hormonal changes. She may be just coming back from maternity leave. So if we can create a more work-life balance, a flexible working hours, a hybrid working culture, that will definitely help. Even a more comfortable, hygienic and safe environment for a nursing mother, where she can just go to rest up for a bit. Those small things can make changes. And also a work culture which is emotionally aware and built on kindness, where instead of only taking performance awareness or performance appraisal or performance feedback, the managers and leaders can actually take feedback on how are you feeling, how are you doing emotionally, and just instead of just taking feedback, offer some help and support. So that will make a female engineer to feel more valued as a human being instead of what she is. And I think that will make a big difference. Thank you.
Thank you. I was hoping that Risham, being in a leadership position, perhaps you could add something more on that and share your experience.
Yes, so I would say, yes, being a young mom, so I also came from my maternity leave and I was provided an option of return to work in Yokogawa, which I'm very, very grateful, and I feel it's a very supportive. These are the things that Deep is also talking about. So all these steps which the organizations take actually then help all us females, young moms, and to return to work. And so I would say that these similar steps are very, very supportive for us. I would say further to add up to what Deep said, we've come a long way. I mean, there was a time when women were not given the option to vote as well. So we've come all those way from that long way. And yeah, so further to add up is that I think all these organizations already taking steps, which that's why we feel we coming from the industry, being in the industry, we feel that there's all these steps and this supportive environment is encouraging for the females and young engineers, and they should keep pursuing the career they want to take because there is a sport available.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to know that change is coming because we engineers definitely need more than caffeine and Wi-Fi to survive. So the next segment is very close to my heart, advice to the next generation. So Deepshika, I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to our fellow female engineers who are considering pursuing a career in this field?
I would like to tell them that believe in yourself. This engineering industry can be very rewarding because you will be doing some real life problem solving there. And believe in yourself, and this industry needs your creativity, your resilience, and your knowledge. It has nothing to do with the gender. And don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to share your ideas. Be strong. And when I say be strong, that does not mean that you cannot fail. Failing is okay. And it's all about getting back up and not giving up. And you don't have to do it alone. You are in this industry. You can always ask for help and you can always take breaks. And it's okay to struggle. And this industry is male-dominated industry. There are going to be challenges, but don't just give up. Believe in yourself and go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Deepshika, for that insightful answer. Swarada, do you have any gold nuggets or goldful thoughts to add on that?
As Deepshika correctly said that and gave a very good advice to the young engineers, I would also like to add on my few points that engineering is for anyone who is eager to learn, willing to learn, and more curious, and who is looking for making a real impact. Also, I would like to give one advice that don't hold yourself back. Be very confident because there are many challenges which you are going to face. But with challenges, you would also learn and your experiences will also increase. And also be with people who are going to support you and make you feel more confident and also break the barriers. And engineering is a field for those who are really very curious. And if you feel and curious and you are willing to learn, this is the best field for you, and just go for it.
Thank you, Swarada, for that such an amazing answer. Dhanya, would you like to add some more?
From my experience, what I observed is, especially in a field like oil and gas, the number of women in engineering is quite less when compared to the number of men. And I believe it must be because, people might still be thinking, some fields are not meant for women, but it's actually not true. There is no limits based on gender. And if you have a willingness to learn, and if you are really enthusiastic about what you do, you can definitely succeed in any field you work. So just go for it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's so well said. I believe sometimes all it takes is to see someone like you solving problems and taking charge, and then it inspires you and makes you think, hey, maybe I can do that too. So let's wrap on a curious note. What's next for the future? So, Tanya, is there any emerging tech that you are particularly eager or excited about?
Yes, definitely. When I look back, when I was in college, internet was one of the most exciting and new technology, and we all know over the years it evolved a lot, and it had a very huge impact on people's day-to-day life as well as in work. Now, I think it is AI. AI is the next big thing, and it is a very fast-growing technology, and it has a very huge scope in the field of engineering. And what I'm curious to know is, the scope of AI model in process industries, how AI can help to make the system smarter, and how it can be used to reduce errors, and how it can help people to make better decisions. And I believe AI will definitely play a key role in, shaping the future of engineering.
Thank you, Dhanya, for bringing and giving us that lovely insight. Julia, being from computer science background and working in PCN, is there something that you are excited about?
Thank you, AK, for the question. So working in an IT-based role in engineering is quite an interesting field. So what I've discovered, what I'm really curious about is cybersecurity in engineering. So I'm currently also doing a cybersecurity postgraduate degree, and just discovering the overlap between computer science and engineering. And while change in engineering is always a bit slower to come, especially as Dania said, with AI being more on the rise, there's even more so a need for new technologies in cybersecurity and engineering. So I'm really curious to see where that's going to go and the change that's going to happen there, and just learning more about it every day, and sort of, discovering even more overlaps between IT and the engineering space.
Yeah, well, I can definitely say that engineering, especially AI, is definitely evolving faster than my phone battery. My phone battery dies before things go to the next stage. Well, that brings us to our conclusion note. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing your story and insight with such honesty and strength. Conversations like this tells us that women are not only working in engineering, they are also redefining it. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for sharing your story with such honesty and strength. It's stories like this that tells us that women are not only fitting in engineering, they are redefining it. They are breaking barriers, they are building more things. They are writing codes, writing softwares. Heck, they are going and working in space. It's the women we need to understand and ensure that these are the voices that needs to be heard and that needs to be accepted for creating vital and long-lasting solution our complex world needs. Here's to building more bridges, breaking more barriers, and making more space for voices to be heard. And I must say, the future looks bright from here. Thanks again to our wonderful panelists for joining us today and sharing their inspiring stories with us. Just remember, engineers are not only building structure, they are building futures. Thank you.